Hello friends, I am Dr. Ashish Agrawat. Welcome to my channel Live Biochemistry. Today I am going to discuss about the recombinant DNA technology and its application. So it will be very useful to you. So please watch this video till the end. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the notification for my future videos. So just now I am starting the videos. I am sharing my screen. Okay. So, what is recombinant DNA technology? So, recombinant means combining different segments of the DNA. Okay, recombining the different segments of DNA. Suppose this is a DNA which has a nucleotide sequence. Okay, so that will produce the functional RNA. So, that nucleotide sequence is called as a gene. Okay. And if we want to make the multiple copies of this gene, so we can take this gene, okay, by cutting this enzyme. With the help of cutting enzyme restriction endonuclease, we'll cut this gene and we will recombine it to the one vector, okay, and this gene is added to this vector and joined together by the ligase, okay, and this ultimately recombinant gene is added to the new host cell, and this is a recombinant DNA technology where it will this gene of interest will be multiplied. Okay, so recombinant refers to the recombining different segments of DNA, and cloning refers to the production of multiple copies of this recombinant DNA. So what is the basic principle of this recombinant DNA technology? Here, there is a generation of DNA fragments and selection of desired piece of DNA. Okay, desired piece of DNA or the gene of interest that we will select. And then insertion of this selected DNA into the cloning vector. Okay, as for example, plasmid. And when we join together this vector is nothing but it is a DNA. Okay, that will carry the our gene of interest. And gene of interest, suppose we want to make the gene for the we want to produce the insulin, so we'll select the gene for the insulin and we add cut it and insert it into the vector. Vector is nothing but a DNA like plasmid, okay, and we combine together with the help of ligase. Then we introduce this recombinant DNA into the host cell like bacteria, and then it will be multiplied and selection of the clones containing the recombinant molecule. Okay, and ultimately this gene will be expressed to form the desired products. Okay, so I will explain you. Okay, don't worry. Suppose this is our one DNA, circular DNA. Here there is a gene of interest. Okay, and another is a vector. So here there is a gene of interest. Okay, this is our gene of interest. So we'll cut it and we'll cut the vector also. Vector is nothing but it is a DNA that will carry our, that will take up our gene of interest, okay, or desired DNA. So we will cut here with the same restriction enzyme that cut the gene of interest, okay, and then suppose this is removed and now we will add the desired gene. Okay, you can see here this portion is your vector, this DNA is vector, and this portion is your gene of interest or desired gene. So this whole is called as a recombinant DNA. All right, now this recombinant DNA is introduced to the host cell like E. coli or any prokaryotes or eukaryotic cell. So it is exported, it is transformed via various methods like heat shock method, okay, or gene gun. Many methods are there that will, with that we can transfer the recombinant DNA into the host cell. Now once this recombinant DNA, okay, it is introduced into the host cell, we will see also the method of introducing this recombinant DNA. This recombinant DNA now it has a, because it will multiply inside the host cell. Okay, so there are multiple copies of this desired gene will be produced, okay, in the host cell. Or if we use the expression vector, so if you want to make the product like insulin, okay, so that in that case we use the expression vector. If you want to make multiple copies of the desired gene, then only if you want only the copy of the gene, we use the cloning vector. Cloning vector. Okay, this vector, this is vector. Okay, this is a vector. And if we want to make any important products, important proteins, then we use the expression vector. So expression vector is nothing but it contains promoter region, enhancer region, like that. Okay, so they will help in producing the translation and ultimately the proteins. And here, suppose this is a plasmid. As we know, plasmid contains bacterial resistance gene. So when we grow this in the medium, we use the antibiotic. Okay. And if the plasmid contains the antibiotic resistance gene, then only it will grow. Okay. Other rest, if there is a proper recombination does not occur, then this other recombinant DNA, they are washed out. Okay. So this is how it works. Now we come to the restriction endonuclease enzyme. So they are DNA cutting enzyme. They will cut the DNA. Okay, nucleotide phosphodiester linkage is cutting within the DNA sequence, and they will cut the DNA at the specific sites. So first discovered in E. coli. Okay, and they are given the name like here EcoR1. So first letter indicates the genus name. Okay, so this is Escherichia is the genus. Then species is two letter is for the species. This EO is a coli. This is a species, and this R is strain of the organism. And okay, and this one represent the Roman numerical indicating the order of discovery. Okay, so E is genus, coli CO means species, strain is RY13 that is represented by R, and first endonuclease which was discovered, so it is called R1. Okay, this is how the restriction enzyme, they are also called as the molecular scissors. So they will cut the DNA. Here you can see this is a restriction endonuclease. It will cut the DNA, okay, at the specific sequence. So there is restriction enzyme recognize and bind and cut the DNA at specific sites. So if it cuts, suppose this is a GAATTC sequence, if it cuts double-stranded DNA like this, okay, then it will produce the sticky ends. And if we cut the like vertically, it cuts the DNA in sequence like CCC, GGG, then it will produce the blunt end. Okay, and this sequence GAATTC, they are called as a palindromic sequence. Palindromic sequence. So what is palindrome? It is like if you read from this side 5' to 3', or here it is a 5' to 3'. So if you read in 5' to 3', it is same. If you read here GAATTC, if you read from this side 5' to 3', it is same. It is just like MADAM, madam. If you read like from here, if you read from this side, also it is madam. Just like any Indian language, Malayalam. Okay, so if you read from this side to this side, it is same. This is called as a palindromic sequence. So restriction endonuclease will cut the DNA. So if it cuts like we have seen, if it cuts like here, if the cut is like this, then it will produce the sticky ends. It will again stick together if we, okay, and if we cut at the vertically here, it will produce the blunt end. So restriction enzyme, endonuclease enzyme will cut the DNA. Okay, so here our gene of interest, this is our DNA, and at the specific site where restriction enzyme, okay, restriction enzyme will act at the specific site at the palindromic site, it will cut the DNA. Okay, so gene of interest, suppose this is our gene of interest, this whole is the gene of interest, is cut with the help of restriction endonuclease. Then we can use the vector, okay, and then recombinant DNA is placed inside the host cell. Host cell may be prokaryotes, it may be eukaryotic, okay. And so we can see the example of prokaryotes. E. coli bacteria was first organism used for this DNA recombinant DNA technology. Only drawback, it cannot perform the post-translational modification. Okay, and Bacillus subtilis bacteria is used in the industry for production of enzyme, antibiotic, insecticide. Okay. And eukaryotes can be used to produce complex protein. Most common eukaryote that is used is yeast in mammalian cell, difficult to do work and high cost factor. Okay, like mouse cells. So we mainly use the yeast in eukaryotes. Okay. Now, what are the vectors? So example of vector is like plasmid. It can use as a vector a piece of DNA that can accept, carry, and replicate the other pieces of DNA. That is the definition. So vector are nothing but a DNA, okay, that will carry our gene of interest. Okay. So suppose our gene of interest, this is green color is our gene of interest. So it will carry our vector. This is a vector. Okay. So the plasmid. Okay. Example of vectors are plasmid, cosmids, bacteriophage, okay, yeast artificial chromosome, bacterial artificial chromosome, mammalian artificial chromosome. So all these are the vectors. So they are nothing but a piece of the DNA that will carry the gene of interest or desired gene. Okay, and that whole is complex is called recombinant DNA, and then we can place into the host cell. Why it is important? Because vector, they have a, it should have a self-replicating property. So when we insert our gene of interest, it can be easily self-replicating. Okay. So first plasmid vector, okay, was discovered. So plasmid, they are extra chromosomal double-stranded circular DNA molecule, and they can insert up to the, in plasmid we can insert up to the less than 10 kb, mainly about 1000 kb means, okay. So 1000 to 2000 base pair we can add in the plasmid. What is a bacteriophage? It is a virus, okay, that will kill the bacteria there, so that they can name as a bacteriophage. So this virus, their DNA get incorporated in the bacterial chromosome and remain permanent. It can take up the larger fragment than the plasmid. It is around 30 to 35 kilo base pair fragments can be inserted with the help of bacteriophage. So we can see that plasmid, so in bacteria, this is bacterial chromosome and this is the extra chromosomal DNA, that is a plasmid. Okay, it is double-stranded circular, and it will, in some bacteria, it will provide the antibacterial property. Okay, so against antibiotic resistance, it is provided by this plasmid, right? Now, what is cosmid? It is a combination of plasmid and bacteriophage, and it can take up to the 50 kilobase. Okay. Now, artificial chromosome we have made like human artificial chromosome, yeast artificial chromosome, and bacterial artificial chromosome. So, bacterial artificial chromosome will add the base pair up to the 300 kb. Yeast artificial chromosome can take up to the 1 megabytes. Okay, and human artificial or mammalian artificial chromosome also take up to the 1 megabyte. So these all are the vector. Now, once vector or gene of interest is added to the vector, this vector will carry that DNA. This recombinant DNA is transported to the host cell. Host cell may be prokaryotes or eukaryotes. So the method of introducing the foreign DNA into the bacterial cell, so there are different methods. So what are these methods? So like natural conjugation method, so natural microbial recombination process. Here, two live bacteria come together, joined by the cytoplasmic bridge, and transfer the single-stranded DNA. from donor to recipient, or electroporation, where we give the high voltage. So high voltage electrical pulse can induce the plasma cell membrane to fuse. This technique involves electrical field mediated membrane permeability. Okay, so membrane permeability increase with the help of electroporation. One more method is liposuction or liposome mediated gene transfer. So liposomes are the circular lipid molecule having aqueous interior that can carry the nucleic acid. On treatment of DNA fragment with liposomes, DNA pieces get encapsulated inside the liposome and can adhere to the cell membrane and fuse to them to transfer the DNA fragment. And we can directly transfer the DNA via micro injection. Okay, so these are the different methods by which we can transfer the recombinant DNA into the host cell. So DNA cloning, so we can see that to make the identical copies of the recombinant DNA. So process are separation of specific gene of our gene of interest, then replicating this modified DNA into the millions of the times, okay, and selective amplification of particular segment of gene. If we want to make the insulin gene, we select it and we make the protein from that. Okay, so basically here what we do, cutting the DNA at the precise location at the palindromic sequence by the restriction endonuclease. Okay, then joining the two DNA fragments covalently by the DNA ligase. So with the gene of interest and your vector, they are cut by the same restriction enzyme, and then we can make the recombinant DNA and we can ligase them. The selection of small molecule of DNA segment of the DNA to be cloned can be joined to the plasmid or viral RNA and to make the recombinant DNA. Now, by the method like electroporation, by the liposomes, or by direct transfer, we can transfer this recombinant DNA into the host cell, where it will be replicated, okay, and multiple copies of that gene can be produced. So this is called as a recombinant DNA technology. So if I show you in the diagram, so you can see with the help of restriction enzymes, they will cut our desired gene of interest. With the same restriction enzyme, we cut the plasmid also. So this we cut the plasmid and we cut the DNA. Now we'll join together with the DNA ligase. So this is a recombinant DNA. Now this recombinant DNA is transported inside the host cell. Okay, and what we can do, suppose this is recombinant DNA, we can make the multiple copies of the that gene. Okay, so that is called as a gene library. Okay, it can be either cDNA or cell library. So if you want to make only the copies of our gene of interest to make the library, we can use this cloning vector. Okay. So in cloning vector to make the multiple copies of the gene, okay, like plasmid. And if we want to make the protein like insulin protein, then what we can use here, we can use the expression vector, which contains promoter, enhancer, etc. so that it can be translated to the proteins. And this in host cell, we grow in the media contains the antibiotic, okay, like tetracycline. So as we know, many plasmid contains the antibiotic resistance gene. So if this plasmid contains the antibiotic resistance gene, then only it will prevent inhibition by this antibiotic tetracycline if the plasmid contains the plasmid which contains the gene of interest, plus additionally it contains the antibiotic resistance gene. So it will inhibit resistance with the tetracycline. And if our recombination has not happened properly, there is a self replicating or self ligation of this plasmid. In all this case, that plasmid that will not, if plasmid does not contain antibiotic resistance gene, then it will die. So only selected the recombinant vector, they are there in the medium and we can grow them and we can produce the protein. Okay. Now there are various use of this recombinant DNA technology. Okay, so like blotting techniques, I will make the separate video about these blotting techniques in detail. So we can use the blotting technique principle, recombinant DNA technology principle in blotting techniques. In PCR also we use recombinant DNA technology to diagnose or okay, for diagnosis or for the forensic science, okay, or for the therapy we can use this PCR. This restriction fragment length polymorphism we can use with the help of recombinant DNA technology. DNA library we can make with the help of recombinant DNA technology. All this PCR, RFLP, blotting techniques, I will make the separate video. Okay, these are all the application of recombinant DNA technology. We can make pharmaceutical products like insulin, okay, with the help of recombinant DNA technology. Earlier, we were using pigs and cows insulin, okay, but there are causing allergy in some people. So now we have made the human insulin. Okay, so what we do here, we take the gene for insulin A chain, gene for the insulin B chain. Okay, we can add in the plasmid. So this is recombinant and recombinant DNA, and we can fuse this both the vectors and to form the human insulin. Okay, so this is how we can make use of the recombinant DNA technology to make the insulin or make the growth hormone like that. Okay, so this is very important use. Also, we can make the vaccine with the help of this recombinant DNA technology. First synthetic vaccine that was made was it is in 1987 for the hepatitis B vaccine. It is very safe, very effective, and there is no allergic reaction when we make with the help of recombinant DNA technology. Okay, so what happens in vaccine? Okay, so when we give the vaccine, so this is the plasmid, contains the DNA of antigenic protein. When it is given to the host cell, then it can, what it can do, this gene of interest antigen will make the mRNA. From that mRNA protein is made, and protein is broken down to the fragments that can be taken up by our immune system, and beta lymphocyte will produce the antibodies. Okay, so that it can kill the antigen for the next time. Also, this fragment protein is taken up by our MSC system and T lymphocyte, and ultimately kill the pathogenic organism and then make the memory cell, so that in the next time we can fight against the virus or any antigen. Okay, so immune response of the body is stimulated by the DNA molecule sequence of the pathogenic genome. So our trial is going on for the coronavirus, also COVID vaccine. So it is work on the same principle. Okay. Then we can make the transgenic animals, genetically modified organism. So transgene is the foreign DNA that is introduced, and transgenic whose genome is altered. Okay. So we can see we have made transgenic cow to make the lactoferrin and interferon, transgenic goat to make the plasminogen activator antithrombin 3 in the patient of clotting disorder, transgenic mouse to make immunoglobulin and urokinase, transgenic pig to make the hemoglobin. Okay, so what we do, like first transgenic animal was Dolly. Okay, so it was sheep that was first made. Okay, and what we do in that, we take the mammary gland cell and ovum with the nucleus. Okay, and we join together, and ultimately they are replicating and make the dolly. That is the first sheep that was made. Okay, so this is how we can make the transgenic animals. Okay, and this recombinant DNA technology is useful like DNA microarray technique in recombinant DNA technology used to screen individuals for inherited disease that cause the mutation, or it can also identify pathogens DNA in the blood. DNA fingerprinting identify the individual organism by their unique DNA sequence. Gene therapy, missing or defective genes can be replaced by the normal copies. So all they are using this recombinant DNA technology. We can make the medical diagnosis with the help of PCR. We can make the xenotransplant, animal cell, tissue, or organ introduced into the human body. So all are this recombinant DNA technology. Okay, I will make separate video on blotting techniques, PCR, RFLP. Okay, you can watch this also. So in summary, what we can summarize in recombinant DNA technology, that we take the desired gene of interest via the restriction enzyme, and we put it into the vector. Okay, in vector we can make the cut. Okay, in vector we can make the cut via the same restriction enzyme, and then we can join this via the DNA ligase. This is called as a recombinant DNA. Now we put it into the host cell, okay, via different method. Host cell may be prokaryotes or eukaryotes. Eukaryotes mainly is yeast, prokaryote is E. coli. And by transformation via the electroporation or with the help of liposome or direct transfer, we can transfer into the host cell. Then we can multiply. This vector can be the cloning vector, where we just want to make the multiple copies of the gene in case of gene library, making the gene library. Or we can use the expression vector. Okay, we can use the expression vector when we want to make the protein. This vector may be the plasmid, which carry the about 1000 to 2000 base pair. It can be bacteriophage or it can be cosmids. Okay, bacteriophage and cosmid will carry up to the 30 to 35 kilobase. Then we have a different vector like mammalian artificial chromosome, yeast artificial chromosome, and bacterial artificial chromosome. Bacterial artificial chromosome will up to the 300 kb are taken up. Gene of interest is taken by the bacterial artificial chromosome, this plasmid. This vector, yeast and mammalian artificial chromosome will take up to the 1 megabytes, okay, of the nucleotides, 1 mega base pair. So this is how this vector, when it is introduced into the host cell, it has a ability to self-replicating. So desired gene of interest or desired products, they are formed. Okay, and plasmid has an antibacterial resistance gene. Okay, so when we put the media antibiotics, so our desired gene can be isolated. So this is how we can recombinant DNA technology. With the help of recombinant DNA technology, we can diagnose the disease, treat the disease with the help of gene therapy. We are making PCR is one type of recombinant DNA technology. We can make multiple copies of DNA. Microarray, we can detect the mutation. RFLP, we can take the crime scenes. Okay, we can solve out the crime. We can use it at the diagnosis of the disease also. With the help of blotting technique, we can transfer the DNA. Okay, to identify the DNA in southern blotting or northern blotting, we can identify the RNA, or western blotting, we can identify the proteins. Okay, we can identify. So there are many. We can make the proteins like insulin. We can make the growth factor with the help of the pharmaceutical use of the recombinant DNA technology. We can make the vaccine. Okay, so these all are the uses of recombinant DNA technology. I hope you like my video. That ends this lecture. So if you have any query, please write in the comment section. I hope you like my video. If you like my video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my video, press the bell icon so that you can see the future video also. Thank you very much for watching my video. That ends. Okay, bye. Thank you again for watching.